Audio Jungle.
From feeding farms to kidnappings, from marrying trees to eating from the most unorthodox places, here are some of the world's strangest wedding traditions. Your wedding day. You've been looking forward to this day for as long as you can remember. A day you will share with the ones you love. Smiling, dancing, eating and drinking, and all on that day shall be merry. Except, smiling is not allowed. Not before, during, nor after the wedding. Can you imagine sharing your first dance with stone cold looks on your faces? Well, that is precisely how it is done in the Democratic Republic of Congo. A wedding is seen as a serious occasion and everyone is prohibited from smiling. So you must be wondering, is everyone really prohibited from smiling? The answer is yes. Not the bride, nor the groom, not the guests, nor the priests, or even passers-by are allowed to smile. As weird as that was, here is something even weirder. At number 14 in Douar, China, in order to set your wedding date, you need to first kill a chicken. But that's not all. After sacrificing the poor bird, you and your bride-to-be must give the liver a close inspection. If the liver looks good, then set the date. But if not, then you both must kill and kill, and kill and kill, until you find a chicken with a healthy liver. Minimum of 2 children. Number 13 takes us back to the continent of Africa. We are now in the country of Sudan. Some Sudanese tribes believe that if the woman is not able to bear 2 children, then the marriage cannot be successful. If so, then the groom can ask for a divorce and be on his merry way, searching for greener pastures. Number 12, Polterabend. This German tradition sees the guests deliberately breaking dishes as a means of bringing luck to the newlyweds' marriage. After the breaking of the dishes, then the couple must work together cleaning up. This signifies teamwork in getting through a mess. Do you care for a beating? Yes, no, maybe. At number 11, the South Korean groom must have his feet thoroughly beaten. This is done with a stick or the bones of a fish, and it is said to develop toughness. It can be painful, but from most accounts, it is quite bearable and even fun. Number 10 takes us back to China, where in some customs it is very normal to shoot your bride. However, it is not as dangerous as it sounds. The groom must use headless arrows, which are very harmless, and must shoot his bride 3 times, after which he will then pick up said arrows, break them, and this should symbolize everlasting love. Number 9, fattening the bride. Le Bleu, as it is called, is a Mauritania tradition in which the bride is fattened to attract a husband. According to this custom, it is said to make the woman more beautiful and her family to appear wealthier. Some women are required to eat up to 16,000 calories per day. That is the equivalent of 24 Burger King Whoppers. All this in the name of making her more attractive. At number 8, we have the Swedish kissing frenzy. Could you imagine on your wedding day, your bride kissing other men, or your groom kissing other women? Well, in some Swedish weddings, that's a regular thing. Whenever the groom leaves the room, then all the men are allowed to kiss his bride. and whenever the bride leaves, it is pretty much the same for the groom. The women at the wedding take their turns in kissing her husband. I think this signifies that you shouldn't turn your back on your significant other. At number 7, we have the weeping bride. Crying at a wedding is a pretty normal thing, but in this case it is very unusual. For the month leading up to the wedding, the bride must force herself to cry for an hour each day. This will signify her happiness for the upcoming ceremony. After a week, then her mother will join the proceedings. Then after 2 weeks, her grandmother will join. After that, her sisters join the party, and they all concoct a beautiful harmony of continuous wailing. On the wedding day, they are required to sing a song completely drowned in tears for one final time. At number 6, we have the toilet buffet. Guests will fill a toilet bowl with all the leftovers from the wedding which were deemed delicious. They will then mix them with alcohol. The couple are then required to eat this concoction, which is said to be done with their best interests at heart. After consuming the slushy goo, the couple are then said to be ready to take on the night. We're now at the top 5. Some women are definitely cursed. Well, at least that's according to a Hindu tradition where Mangliks, or women born under a certain astrological sign, have to marry a tree before they marry their husbands. It is said that these women are naturally aggressive towards men, and this can take a toll on the husband's lifespan. By marrying the tree, the women get rid of the curse, and then they are free to marry and live as happily as can be. Number 4. Hawking and towing. Imagine being spat on your wedding day. In your pretty dress, sparkling shoes, hair well done and makeup well made, with an extra accessory of golden mucus running down your face. To some, it may seem disrespectful, but to the Maasai people of Kenya, it is pretty much the norm. The spitting is seen as a sign of good luck and fortune, and it is done before the new bride leaves with her husband. Number 3. Imagine your first night together as a newly wedded couple. You, your new bride, and your mother. In some places in Africa, it is customary to be accompanied on your first night as a newly wedded couple by your mother, your grandmother, or another elder. Their role is to show the bride how it is done. Another weird wedding custom comes in at number 2. This one is kidnapping the bride. In some cultures, women are not courted. They are simply kidnapped. This is called bride-napping. In Kyrgyzstan, parents would have to consent to the marriage of any girl who was kidnapped. It is said to have even been better if the girl was crying at the time. Number 1. For number 1, we are back in Sudan. It is a very common tradition for a woman to be married to someone who has already been deceased. These women are not seen as widows, but instead they are seen as women with regular families. This is most prevalent in the Dinka and Nuer tribes. Women often enter these marriages for multiple reasons, but the most common reason is that her husband-to-be has suddenly died. So what next? Well, in the ceremony, the dead will be represented by the brother of the dead partner. And when it comes to bearing children, she usually does so for the dead man's brother. In this case, he then becomes responsible for his sister-in-law/wife. Many women would also do this to solidify their wealth from a previous relationship. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell.